Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Counting on fans shocked by pregnancy rules in Duggar family. Counting on alums Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar raised their kids through strict core values. All of the kids were homeschooled and had to follow a certain lifestyle due to their church. However, some Redditors think the two went too far, especially when it comes to teaching how the kids look at pregnancies. Keep reading to see the shocking discovery. Counting on Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar's latest grandchild. One of the newest additions to the Duggar family is Jeremiah and Hannah's second child, Real Grace. Jim, Bob, and Michelle remained silent on social media when their 33rd grandchild arrived last February. Fortunately, Jeremiah and Hannah kept their followers in touch about their growing family. There are also speculations that Joseph and Kendra welcome their secret fourth baby. It's clear to see that the Duggars are only getting bigger as the years go by. But some Redditors are disturbed by a common practice in the family regarding pregnancies. Fans shocked by pregnancy rules in the Duggar family. Some Counting On fans on Reddit discussed one of the most disturbing practices in the Duggar family. According to the poster who claims to be pregnant, there have been tons of women who were able to prevent themselves from calling out their husbands for not putting much on the table. It's known that most of the Duggar men only rely on Jim Bob and his construction business. The poster also added that she has a husband who is 10 times more present and a helpful partner, but there are still days when she gets mad because of her pregnancy. But it seems it was never seen on any Duggar women when they were expecting with their respective husbands. See, here's the difference. You're allowed to feel rage. These women aren't. They just aren't. They've been beaten when they show any normal emotion other than joy when they were babies. Blanket training, and that's why we snark on the parents. I also don't understand how they do this so often. I'm about halfway through my first pregnancy and already debating if we need more than one kid. Now, that's how I feel too. If things aren't 50-50 when my husband isn't working, I lose it. I can't do it. We weren't meant to do this alone. It takes a village, blah, 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 but we personally don't live within an hour of family and our parents have real jobs, so we can only maybe get help some weekends. Women in Duggar world is a keep sweet attitude groves. They are brainwashed from birth. It's hard to feel rage when you don't know any different. Counting on. Are there any pregnant Duggars today? There are currently no pregnant Duggars today. However, many of them have stepped away from the limelight, making it hard for the fans to know if someone is expecting. Jill is one of the most recent members of the family to announce a pregnancy. Sadly, the Counting On alum suffered a devastating miscarriage in April. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar were also in attendance during the funeral of their granddaughter, Isla Marie, and many fans hope that their relationship with Jill will finally get better. The Duggar family, known for their involvement in the reality television series Counting On, a spin-off of 19 Kids and Counting, has captivated audiences for years with their deeply conservative values, especially when it comes to dating, marriage, and childbearing. However, one aspect of their lives that often draws the most attention, and at times shock, is the strict set of rules surrounding pregnancy within the family. These rules, some of which seem archaic by modern standards, continue to stir debate among fans and critics alike. For the Duggar women, pregnancy isn't just a natural part of married life, it's a deeply structured event influenced by the family's religious beliefs, their patriarchal structure, and a culture that emphasizes prolific motherhood. Here's why these pregnancy rules leave many fans of Counting On scratching their heads, and sometimes in complete disbelief. The pressure to conceive right away. Perhaps one of the most glaring aspects of the Duggar pregnancy rules is the expectation that pregnancy should happen almost immediately after marriage. In the Duggar world, waiting is not an option. As soon as the vows are exchanged, the couple is expected to start growing their family, often with little to no time to adjust to their new lives as husband and wife. This expectation stems from the family's belief in the biblical command to be fruitful and multiply. For them, marriage and procreation go hand in hand, and there is an inherent pressure on the newlyweds to conceive as soon as possible. Birth control is heavily frowned upon, and many Duggar women have spoken openly about their choice to leave their family planning entirely in God's hands. No birth control allowed. The Duggars are staunchly opposed to any form of birth control, a rule that applies not just to pregnancy prevention, but also to spacing out pregnancies. This is one of the most controversial aspects of their pregnancy rules. While many families, including religious ones, use birth control to plan and space their children, The Duggars believe that using contraceptives goes against God's plan. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar, the parents of the sprawling family, have spoken openly about their decision to forego birth control, citing their faith as the primary reason. In fact, Michelle has shared that after experiencing a miscarriage early in their marriage, which they believed was a result of her using birth control, they felt convicted to trust God completely with the size of their family. This decision led to the birth of their 19 children. This no contraceptive policy extends to the married Duggar children, who are expected to follow in their parents' footsteps. For fans of Counting On, the idea of not having any control over one's family size or the timing of pregnancies is startling. Many have pointed out the physical toll frequent pregnancies can have on women, as well as the emotional and financial strain of raising so many children. Yet, for the Duggars, faith and family come first, no matter the cost. Limited medical intervention. Another surprising aspect of the Duggar pregnancy experience is their approach to medical intervention. While some of the Duggar women have opted for hospital births, the family has a strong preference for natural childbirth and minimal medical intervention, wherever possible. Michelle Duggar herself has given birth both at home and in hospitals, and several of her daughters and daughters-in-law have followed suit. This preference for natural childbirth goes hand in hand with their belief in leaving things in God's hands. Many Duggar women choose midwives or doulas to assist with their births, and epidurals or pain medications are often avoided. While there's nothing inherently wrong with this choice, fans of Counting On have expressed concern over the potential risks of avoiding medical interventions, especially in cases where complications arise. The family's preference for natural, home births, coupled with their reluctance to use birth control, has made some fans uneasy, particularly when it comes to the health and well-being of the Duggar women. Critics argue that the combination of frequent pregnancies and a lack of medical intervention can be dangerous for both mother and child, especially in the case of high-risk pregnancies or multiple births. Gender roles in pregnancy. In the Duggar family, pregnancy is very much a woman's responsibility, though it's portrayed as a joyful one. While Jim, Bob Duggar and the Duggar sons are supportive husbands and fathers, the responsibility for childbearing falls heavily on the women. This is consistent with the family's deeply entrenched belief in traditional gender roles, where the man is the provider and the woman's primary role is in the home. This dynamic becomes even more pronounced during pregnancy, as the Duggar women are expected to embrace their role as mothers-to-be with joy and gratitude, regardless of how many pregnancies they've had or the challenges they may face. There is little room for complaints, and pregnancy is viewed as both a blessing and a duty. Fans of Counting On have expressed discomfort with this aspect of Duggar family life, pointing out the lack of balance between the genders when it comes to family planning and childbearing. While the Duggar men are certainly involved in parenting, the physical and emotional toll of frequent pregnancies falls squarely on the women. Critics have voiced concerns that the Duggars' rigid adherence to these traditional gender roles leaves little room for the women to explore other aspects of their identities or careers outside of motherhood. The public nature of Duggar pregnancies. Another element of Duggar pregnancies that fans find surprising is just how public they are. From pregnancy announcements to gender reveals, baby showers, and birth stories, the entire process is shared with the public, often on television or social media. While many families enjoy sharing the joy of a new baby with their friends and family, the Duggars take this to a new level, making their pregnancies a key part of their public persona. For some fans, the public nature of Duggar pregnancies is concerning. The pressure to continually announce and celebrate pregnancies in such a public way can add unnecessary stress to an already demanding time. Critics have pointed out that the constant spotlight on the women's fertility can feel invasive, turning what should be a private, intimate experience into a spectacle for public consumption.